And we're back, guys. I'm your host, Good Energy. Welcome to Tennis in a Minute. How's everyone doing? Again, I want to thank you guys for all the love and support over the years. And of course, my content's brought to you via the Doctrine of Fair Use. We have a lot of tennis to be played, as I've said, probably going back to at least the beginning of this year. My schedule is really busy this year. I'm doing a lot of things in the community. And I'm sorry, I just haven't been able to bring you as much content as lately, or should I say as in the past. But we have a really good matchup here we want to talk about. Naomi Osaka Konnichiwa taking on Emma Navarro. This is going to be a great match, but really quick, guys, I'm going to pivot to the Greek goddess Maria Sakkari and Julia Putintseva. Listen, the story's getting a lot of buzz, and of course, I would have brought it to you a little bit earlier. I was a little tied up, but looking at the match, the highlights, and one thing is clear, and the Greek goddess was at the net probably about 3 to 4 seconds. I'd say probably 4 seconds in real time, right? Waiting to shake Julia's hand. As Julia's coming up, she's looking at Maria in the eye. When she gets to the net and, does her quick handshake that she always does, there's nothing new about it. Because her handshake's so quick, she's already pivoting to what would be her left so she can get back to her bench and get out of there. She lost. So, yeah, upon further review, it does appear that Maria was more of an instigator at the net. It seems like she did provoke Julia. And, of course, Julia, she had her comments. So I would imagine that it was a heated match, but probably something that's been going on for a while. It seemed like Maria was provoking her and seemed like she wanted to really instigate that. And seemed like she had something she wanted to say she was holding back on. So, yeah, because, you could clearly see Julia walking up to the net, looking at Maria as she's walking to the net. So there was eye contact. When it came time to complete the handshake, you're not going to then continue to look at someone after you've been staring at them for 3 seconds. So, yeah, again, so a lot of good comments. I appreciate the feedback. But again, it's a competitive sport. Things are going to get heated. I wouldn't hold that against any of those ladies. Osaka Konnichiwa taking on Emma Navarro. Now, look, I talked about Emma in the past, how amazing she is. Look, she's just a classy woman there. So is Osaka, right? I've talked about Osaka in the past, how she's got a lot of integrity for the game. She's just a sweet person. And it was interesting listening to Patrick the other day talk about passion, right? He was talking about how, he talks to a lot of these players, top 50 players, and he says to them, so after the game, so what are you going to do? You going to go watch tennis in your hotel room? And Patrick said, a lot of players say, no way. I'm not going to watch more tennis. I've been playing tennis all day. That hit home with me. Right? Because when you have passion for something, when you really love something, you'll do it for free. No one has to pay you. So he would then pivot and say, Serena, and look, I said this in the past before, so I know it's true because I've talked about this personally. Patrick would say how Serena, after the matches, games, slams, she would go to her hotel room and watch more tennis. That's the love of the sport. And Patrick said that's what separated Serena from a lot of these people. Now, I'm not sure if he's talking about Osaka. I don't know. But I thought his comments were interesting. But again, I've said this in the past. Serena didn't have a life off the court. Okay, she went from the court to her hotel room. She went from the courts to her hotel room. Say that fast 3 times in a row. And it was more tennis. She had no life, And I think when you love the sport, you will make those sacrifices. This is a matchup here where, look, we've seen the last 2-3 years. I've talked about Emma when she was making the transition from college to the main tour, how she has sacrificed. I've talked about that. She's put in the work. She's improved her stamina. The problem with this matchup, though, with Emma, even though she owns a head-to-head, they played last year at Wimbledon. Emma won that match. The problem is I think Osaka's just too powerful, right? Did you watch the match between Badosa and Navarro? Badosa was really just dominating all of those rallies. Osaka has the power Badosa has. I think Badosa has put on a lot more power recently. But overall, Osaka has that same power. She's a little more cleaner ball striker, a little bit more technical, right? Osaka starts fast, though. We're going to see if she can finish this match. I think Osaka starts fast. I think she comes out, probably takes this opening set. The question is, can she hold on? I think she can this time. I think Osaka advances, guys. Taking a look at the bad Homburg draw, there's a lot of great matches. Kruger and Beatrice Haddad. Beatrice Haddad, remember, guys, I covered her matches when she came from the suspension. She came back to grass, and she won a couple titles, a few years ago. She loves this leg of the tour. Taking on Ashlyn Kruger, who has that powerful serve, she can back up Beatrice, keep her on the back foot. But the problem is, I think as Beatrice cuts off the court, especially with their left forehand, I think Kruger might run into problems there. Jasmine Paolini taking on Leylah Fernandez. Going to be a good match here, guys. Leylah's playing good tennis. She looks good. Jasmine, the number 2 seed here in Bad Homburg. But Leylah she's dominated Jasmine, in case you guys don't know. I think Leylah gets off to a fast start in here. Leylah's going to get off, take the first set. We're going to see if Jasmine can hang on there. Jessica Pegula, Katerina Siniakova. It's going to be a good match. The number 1 seed, Pegula. That's right, guys. No Coco sighting here. We wanted to see Coco. Probably not a bad thing, though. She can get to Wimbledon early, do her press, get used to the courts, warm up. Probably going to be a good tournament for Coco, guys. Pegula should get past Katerina unless she wants to get to Wimbledon early, guys. And let's see if she's not focused and Katerina takes it. I think Pegula advances. Vika and Iga Swiatek. It's going to be a good match. I think Iga's just too strong. Iga advances. Donna Vekic does what Donna Vekic does. Taking on Linda Noskova. Look, I think this is the matchup where Donna's footwork's not going to be an issue. Linda, though, she's from the Czech Republic. You guys know I say on grass season, you have to watch out for the Czech players. They're very, very good. Great wide serve and volley, especially Linda, who has those low trajectory balls like Petra Kvitova. I'm going to go with Vekic, though. I think Vekic gets past this matchup. I'm going to take Mira over Towson, and I'm going to take the Greek goddess and Ekaterina. This is going to be a good match, ladies and gentlemen. Going to go with Maria to upset Ekaterina in this one. I think it's going to be a good matchup. She's dominated Ekaterina. We're going to go with the Greek goddess here. Guys, there's a lot of great matches, a lot of great tournaments going on. That's Bad Homburg. Let's go to Eastbourne, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, where we have Camila Osorio, one of the toughest players I've seen in my life. But wait, we're going to talk Ann Lee, Emma Raducanu, ladies and gentlemen. Raducanu is the 7th seed here. Listen, guys, Ann Lee's got a lot of power, but she wants the deep ball. I think Emma's got just a little bit better fine touch when it comes to grass, even though both of these ladies haven't had a long career on grass. I think Emma's touch will get her past Ann Lee. Asta, Big Mama. Look, she's won this tournament before. Remember that epic battle with Venus Williams a while back? Gonna take Asta over Cartel. Peyton Stearns over Ju. Gonna take, I don't know, guys. I think we're gonna go with Lulu Sun over Anna Blinkova. Lynette over Diana Yastremka. She's been playing a lot of tennis lately. Jacqueline Christian. Does she have what it takes to get past Shramkova? I think so. Uchima and Jody Burrs. That's going to be a good match. The crowd's going to be backing Jody. Can she pull off the upset? We'll go with Uchima for the win there. Barbora Krejcikova taking on Harriet Dart. I think she could pass Harriet Dart. What do you guys think? Going to take big game Sophia Kenin over Kimberly Burrell. Eliza Beta taking on Kamila Rakimova. That's going to be a good match. I think Eliza Beta gets past Rakimova. I think she can cut off the court, come wide with her backhand. Her angles might be a little too much. And Vivara and Camilo, sorry, I think I think Vivara should have enough to get past Camilo. Sorry. I think when it comes to power, that's going to be the difference maker. But this matchup here, again, guys, I do think Emma Raducanu, she's just going to have the better touch. Now, I want to take a look at Lois Boisson. That's right, guys. She has a tough matchup here in qualifiers. I think this is going to be a really, really good matchup. And a lot of controversy because people are suggesting or wanting to see the number 1 seed, the world's ranked 65th, Lois Boisson. They wanted her to get a wild card into Wimbledon, but I talked about this, guys. She got one in the French Open. She's not going to get another one. I mean, for crying out loud, they didn't even give Emma Raducanu a wild card last year. You're not going to get 2 back-to-back. It's just not going to happen. I mean, I think Venus might have been the last person to do that. But the reality here is in France, they're going to take care of their French players. But when we're talking about Wimbledon, guys, right, it's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Do you think she was snubbed? I mean, comment below. What do you guys think? Do you think Lois was snubbed? I don't necessarily think so. I don't think so. I mean, I think she's not going to have to worry about the U.S. Open. But in terms of the cutoff point, it's not going to happen. You have too many players from the UK that are very, very good that we want to see play in Wimbledon. And I just don't think giving Lois a second wild card in a row would have justified that. Right? I mean, I've always talked about the slams being an opportunity for local players to shine, right? Those local players that possibly can't afford or have the finances to travel worldwide and really break into the tour. I think the slams is a great opportunity for those players to get a shot, right? That's just what I think. I don't think you can give Boisson for the second tournament in a row a wild card. I just don't think so. Right? So this matchup in particular, it's going to be a tough one, right? Because Lois she's primarily a clay player, right? I told you guys this in the past. She plays clay. Grass is a much faster surface. And I think overall, it's going to create a situation where Lois is going to be sped up into some uncomfortable positions. And I don't know if she's going to be able to hang in this matchup here. However, when it comes to Carson, and by the way, WTA, please get a work photo up for Carson, please. Look, she's the older person in this matchup. She's the more experienced player on tour. She's currently ranked 197th. She hasn't really been higher than that. I mean, she does have 7 championships on the lower level. She's 3-2 this year in grass season. I mean, she beat Ludmilla, right? She beat Yuan and she beat Julia Niemeyer. Really good competition at Hertogenbosch. Right? A lot of people thought Ludmilla should have won that match and she'd catch form the very next tournament. This is going to be a tough match for Lois, and I do think Carson's going to win this match. I think we'll see Lois kind of, just come down back to reality a little bit. Again, this is her first time playing on grass. So I think if we take a look at some of the players from the UK, now Katie Boulter's in the main draw for Wimbledon. Emma Raducanu's in there. Cartel's in there. Francisca Jones is probably going to get a wild card. You got Heather Watson, who should get a wild card, by the way. Harriet Dart, the Brits. Jody Burge. I mean, you got Banks, right? I've talked about her. But you have some players that are coming up that, and what about Katie Swan? She's trying to get back into the swing of things. I would love to see Katie Swan get a wild card into Wimbledon. Katie Swan was on the up and up. Remember a few years ago, guys, I was covering a lot of her matches. The injury set her back. We want to see Katie Swan back up there. So personally, again, I don't think it's a snub, but I do think after that great run in Paris, I think Lois maybe soak that in a little bit more, right? And just get ready for hardcourt season and see what she can do in New York, being in the main draw. I think that's going to be amazing, but I think she'll be eliminated here in this matchup here. But we have some other matchups to discuss, guys. We have Robin Montgomery, Coco's bestie. I mean, there's just so many guys. Bianca Andreescu, she's got to go qualify. She's taking on Laura Pigossi. She should win that. Guys, what about Iga's bestie, Yuvon, taking on Okamura? That's going to be a good match. Yana Fett taking on Soe. That's going to be a good matchup. Panna Yudvardi taking on Dasha Seville. Ingles taking on Martic. Petra Martic, Team Vegan. I love Team Vegan, Petra Martic. That's going to be great. Erica Andreeva taking on Jancevic. That's going to be a good matchup. Victoria Mboko taking on Nehu Binu. That is going to be electrifying. Guys, there's so many great matches. Hantelma taking on Julia Niemeyer. Seidel taking on Kayla Day. Sasnovich taking on Martina Cerez. That's going to be good. Guys, how about Whitney Oswego taking on Sonia Cross? That's going to be a good match. Rebecca Marino taking on Knutson. Chloe Paquet taking on Celine Naif. Taylor Townsend taking on Louise Chirico. That's going to be good. Leola Janjan taking on Arasovic. Elise Cornet, Bonjour, comment allez-vous, taking on Dune. Elsa Jackmo taking on Bulgari. Anna Bogdan, taking on Rebecca Masarova. There's so many good matches here, guys. How about Talia Preston taking on Julia Herrera? Ava Jovic taking on Klementsova. Favertova, Bosevic, Nuria Diaz, Mikulatsi. Guys, these matches are insane. So get ready. It's going to be a lot of great tennis. I'll keep you covered, guys. Tennis in a minute. Thanks for the love and support. Was Lois snubbed? Was she robbed? Comment below.